The storm always seemed to begin the same way. A stranger stepped forward from the shadows, full of bravado, full of empty confidence, convinced that somehow they understood the magnitude of the force they were about to face. Hurricane Peter McNeely was no different. He strutted into the cameras with a grin and a furious promise, believing that a few bold words would soften the iron of Mike Tyson. He called himself a hurricane. He called Tyson washed, rusted, weakened by the years away. And with every delusional word that spilled out, the crowd didn't realize they were watching a man blindly sharpening the scythe of the executioner he would meet in the ring. Tyson didn't respond with theatrics or rehearsed speeches. He didn't need to. His silence alone was an omen, a familiar calm before the violent storm he unleashed on anyone foolish enough to disrespect him. The pattern repeated itself through Tyson's era. Men who believed their insult was a strategy, who convinced themselves that provoking a sleeping lion was somehow an advantage. They watched tapes of Tyson's knockdowns, studied his mistakes, mocked the moments where he stumbled, and somehow crafted fantasies where they could reenact them. Yet standing in front of him was never the same as talking about him. The audacity of dragging Don King, Tyson's team, or Tyson himself into slander only fueled the fire burning in the heart of a man who had made violence an art form. Fighters stepped forward with pride, but what they were truly doing was handing Tyson the fuel he needed to become the cold embodiment of punishment. No one understood this lesson better than Donovan "Razor" Ruddock, a monstrous powerhouse built from brute strength, raw aggression, and a reputation for treating every opponent like an obstacle he was destined to crush. He was the rare one who could challenge Tyson, a man with the size of a titan and the mindset of a hunter. The ring ignited the moment they met, transforming into a war zone where every second threatened to mark the end of someone's career. Blood, bone, and willpower clashed, twisting the air into something electric. Every punch that landed felt like it echoed through the arena. Ruddock landed monstrous shots, uppercuts strong enough to rattle the jaw of a rhino, and for a moment, many believed he could do the impossible. But Tyson wasn't built to fold. Even weakened, even pushed, he clawed his way back from the brink, gathering every fragment of strength until he exploded forward with the precision of a human weapon. When Ruddock finally fell, it wasn't just a knockdown. It was a warning. A reminder that Tyson didn't lose battles. He ended them. Larry Holmes learned the same lesson, but under far more emotional circumstances. Holmes was one of history's greats, a veteran of the Golden Age, a man who once stood tall in the shadow of Muhammad Ali. But age had eroded his reflexes, robbed his speed, and dulled his instincts. Yet instead of acknowledging his past honorably, he taunted it. He mocked Ali, dismissed Tyson as unworthy, and bragged about past victories earned against an Ali already suffering, already fading. Those words were gasoline poured on a young Tyson's soul. As a teenager, Tyson vowed revenge for Ali, the man who had shaped his dreams. When Holmes finally stepped into the ring, he wasn't facing the boy he once bragged about humiliating. He was facing a fully grown force of nature fueled by a decade of simmering fury. The fight wasn't a contest. It was a reckoning. Tyson knocked Holmes down again and again, each blow carrying the weight of years of vengeance. When Holmes collapsed for the final time, Tyson didn't just win a fight. He restored the dignity of a legend. Andrew Golota entered Tyson's world next, and no fighter better represented chaos, scandal, and dishonor. Golota was infamous for playing dirty, for striking below the belt, for bending rules until they snapped. But no cheap tactic could mask the fear that crept into his eyes when Tyson stared at him across the ring. Golota had size, strength, and technical skill, yet his spirit cracked the instant he tasted Tyson's power. His face caved under the relentless assault, his confidence crumbled, and even his dirtiest tricks failed him. Tyson dropped him with a shot that echoed like a hammer on steel. And when the bell saved Golota from another vicious round, he deserted the battle entirely. He walked away, abandoning the fight, rejected by his corner and booed by the world. Men had lost to Tyson, but few had quit out of terror. Golota immortalized himself in shame. Trevor Berbick, the reigning champion at the time, arrived with pride and swagger, convinced his experience would humble Tyson. For a few seconds, his plan seemed to hold as he attempted to bully Tyson with pressure and size. But Berbick's arrogance blinded him. Tyson tore through him like a man possessed, dropping him with combinations that rattled through Berbick's entire frame. His legs rebelled against him, sending him stumbling in a dance of involuntary surrender. His body tried to rise, but his balance waged war against itself. By the time the referee ended it, Tyson had carved his name into history as the youngest heavyweight champion the world had ever seen. Carl Williams, swollen with ego from beating up teenagers and sparring, walked into his fight with Tyson believing size alone would protect him. That illusion met a brutal end within minutes. Williams tried to box tall, tried to jab, tried to use reach, but Tyson shattered his plan the moment he closed the distance. One left hook detonated like a missile, sending Williams collapsing into a heap of shattered confidence. The referee saw enough. Tyson had not come to negotiate. He had come to end the farce. Frank Bruno, a massive powerhouse molded in iron, was another mountain Tyson had to conquer. Bruno's strength was real, and his punches were devastating. He even shook Tyson in moments that made crowds gasp. But Tyson did what he always did. He absorbed, adapted, and retaliated with terrifying force. Bruno endured punishment few men could withstand, yet he too eventually crumbled under Tyson's relentless storm. When the referee stepped in, he saved Bruno from a fate his courage wouldn't have let him escape. And then there was Peter McNeely, a man who believed his words could intimidate a monster. He bragged, shouted, demanded attention, but when the bell rang, the truth arrived with the first punch. Tyson leveled him almost instantly, and every attempt McNeely made to rise only fed Tyson's fury. Within moments, the fight was over, not because Tyson lacked power but because McNeely lacked sense. Tyson returned from prison hungrier, sharper, colder, and McNeely learned the hard way that a hurricane cannot destroy a volcano. All these men underestimated the same thing. Tyson was not simply a boxer. He was a reckoning. Disrespect lit his fuse. Arrogance sharpened his aim. And in the ring, there was no forgiveness. Thank you for watching this dramatic journey through the brutality and brilliance of Mike Tyson's rise. What moment shocked you the most? Which opponent do you think pushed Tyson to his limits? Share your thoughts below, hit the like button if you enjoyed the breakdown, and subscribe for more powerful boxing stories and unforgettable fight histories.